Good day and welcome to all the viewers joining us for this pre-recorded show. Racing will take place in Gauteng on Tuesday and the first race is due off at 12:10. The resident expert is Alistair Cohen, who is joining us on the line. Firstly, Alistair, how are you doing? And secondly, what do you make of the card?
Hello Sheldon, hello to all the viewers. I trust everyone's well as we now get to the penultimate day of the racing season. Going into this meeting with Justin Snaith, R1.5 million clear. So that race is over, even though Sean Terry's got, 7 carded runners on the day, but the combined stakes will not take him past Snaith. But it's you found me well, obviously on the back of Gold Cup Day. That was terrific. Lots of Equus awards. I think we're pretty much decided. Some categories become more complicated. And to answer your second question, how I found the card, very trappy indeed. Very open, difficult to put your head down, but you know what that means. Exotics are going to pay good money, so let's hope that we can crack it.
Let's get straight into race number 1 and head off to the betting where it's 9 to 10, number 1, Cat O'Clock. Number 2, Kylie's Angel, 22 to 10. And number 7, Vaal at 33 to 10. So it's safe to say the Tony Peters stable, they seem to have the first race handcuffed.
Yeah, they do, but who's riding Cat O'Clock and who's riding Vaal? At the time of recording, no one declared. And stable work rider, Pelasila Monkawa, rides number 2, Kylie's Angel. He goes back a long way with the Peters. He's been on the wrong one a couple of times of late in the work riders races, so maybe that is a little bit of food for thought. Kylie's Angel has also been very costly to follow along the way, and that she's looked like she's in the right race and has failed to get the job done. I don't know about the level of form of any of these horses. I think they all bring some pretty moderate form lines into the picture, but at a push, I'll go with number 2, Kylie's Angel. Just remember that when it comes to the configuration of the Vaal course, we're actually taking a stab in the dark on this meeting because both the inside and outside rail are set at 0, because when the inside rail is set at 0, the outside rail generally moves in and low number draws are favoured. And when the outside rail sets at 0, the inside rail generally moves in, and high number draws are favoured. So this card, we don't have that much of an advantage when it comes to taking advantage with the draw bias. But to answer your question, in race number 1, at a push, number 2, Kylie's Angel, but thankfully it's not part of the exotics. I think we can gain ground a little bit later on in the card.
Right, moving on to race number 2 and just having a look at the betting. 4 horses, 7 to 2 and under. So there's 4 runners, 7 to 2 and under, and then it's 10 to 1 bar that quartet. Do you have a first selection, or how do we go about race number 2, Alistair?
I do have a first selection here, Sheldon, and that's number 1, Across the Pond. Muzi Yeni and St. John Gray team up. They've formed a good little combination in Joburg over the last month or so. Across the Pond, penultimate start, beaten 5 1/4 lengths by VJ's Angel. I think that's enough to sway anyone's decision into number 1, Across the Pond. She ran against older opposition last time. She looked all over a winner, and she just wobbled over the closing stages when Zenobia's Gold, who's a solid handicapper, got the better of her in the closing stages. I'll be surprised that number 1, Across the Pond doesn't win. I'll make her a bipod banker in the first leg. I'm interested in number 6, Willow Wild. I've got it open-ended for her and for number 4, Golden Moments, as potential dangers if Across the Pond does fluff her lines. Willow Wild being a maiden, she was carded to run at Turfentine roughly a month ago, and she was scratched at the start when a very short price favourite. I don't think she's the easiest mover around as Willow Wild, so watch her go down to the starts and just monitor the situation there. And number 4, Golden Moment, although beating a weak maiden on debut, she steamed home, and she followed up with a reasonable run second time out. This is good Sean Terry blood by Pomodoro out of Millennium Rain, trained the sires, trained the dam, trained a lot of the family as well. So from that perspective, we know what we're going to get from number 4, Golden Moment, but I think they've all got their work cut out to turn over number 1, Across the Pond.
That'll catapult us into race number 3, where the favourite, once again, Muzi Yeni and St. John Gray. Are you looking for the double for the combination?
I prefer the second race, to be honest, Sheldon, over number 10, Take Your Place. Not to say that she can't win, she's very much alive, but she's in the same type of race that she's been in the last few, where she's run nicely, but failed to get the job done. I think number 7, Komati River's going to make her presence felt here under Calvin Habib, the daughter of Vercingetorix, related to a horse that Paul Peter trained that went on a streak of about 6 wins on the trot, that they were trying to qualify for the Hollywoodbets Durbanville about 2 or 3 years ago. I thought her her last run was a little bit flat behind Xantha, but I think she's better than that. You know, she doesn't bring the most overwhelming form lines into the picture either, but Take Your Place is well exposed, and Komati River might have something to come. So from that point of view, I'm going to lean towards number 7, Komati River, as my preferred selection in race number 3, the first leg of the Place Accumulator. It won't take much for the first timers to be dangerous here. Francilia, number 4 in the card by What a Winter, from a very stout staying mare. There's lots of Illa de Vittoria, Illa Bella and all that from the Ile de France family, but, you know, she was by Vaal, so maybe she can get home over 1,200 meters. I wouldn't immediately suggest that that could be the case, but maybe this is the one from a sprinting sire that might have a little bit of precocious blood in her. And number 6, Kings again, just because she's by One World, and One World swept all before him. So, Trappy first leg of the Place Accumulator, the two most reliable, 7 and 10, but if there is any support for a first timer, take that on board.
Well, that will take us on to race number 4, which will be the opening leg of the Pick 6. And talking about support for a first timer, number 8, Wild Intent, from around 9 to 2 has shortened down 33 to 10. Is there any word on the ground about number 8, Wild Intent, Alistair?
Not from an official source, but yes, there is word on the ground from someone in the know. And Lucky Hudalakis knows how to get them ready first time out. A well-related horse. Lucky's trained this family to good success quite a lot. And the son of Give Me the Green Light, I think, could have found the right opening. I've looked at this race a lot, and I'm pretty easy to the fact that I think Wild Intent, if he has got any ability, will win, because Kalish Cyborg ran an unbelievably good race behind Corrupt first time out, but I've watched that race time and time again. I think Corrupt's going to go through the divisions and be a very nice horse, but I think Kalish Cyborg ran second to a horse that's looking for 2,000 meters, so although Corrupt, I think, is going to train on, I don't think the form line in behind is all that much to write home about. For example, there was no interest in him on debut, despite I watched him closely on the way down to the start. Nice, big, strapping son of Global View, but I'm not convinced that the horse is behind Corrupt, despite me being of the opinion that the winner is going to turn into a good horse. And then on that note, number 7, 12 O'Clock High, despite coming from a long way back first time out, has also got about a length and a quarter to turn around, and ran into a little bit of traffic. So I actually think 12 O'Clock High might turn the form with number 3, Kalish Cyborg. But first leg of the Pick 6, take the first timer rule to your advantage with number 8, Wild Intent. I think that he'll be somewhere in the mix, if not winning, but you can go with numbers 3 and 7, because I don't see any of the other race runners threatening the first timer, number 8, Wild Intent.
Moving on to race number 5, and as we talk about race number 5, let's start with number 6, Jury's Out. The Candace Dawson stable, Gavin Lorena's jumping aboard. Of course, he rode King of Gauls to the last race at Hollywoodbets Greyville on Gold Cup Day. How's number 6, Jury's Out, doing, and what are you expecting from this individual?
I'm expecting a good run. From actually both the runners. Another level's also jumping out of his skin. And number 6, Jury's Out, doing very well at home as well. Gavin Lorena was quick on the phone to take the ride on the son of Give Me the Green Light. He likes the Vaal straight. I don't know if he got 1,800 meters last time in the Secretariat Stakes behind Lamu Hal. He was given every chance and just faded out of it. So hopefully he has come out of that run in good fashion. Every single piece of collateral form, for example, when beating Master Christmas on the 19th of March, when beating Master Christmas at Eiffel Tower on the 9th of June, and then in the Sea Cottage Stakes when finishing well in front of Eiffel Tower and Biofarmer, he's got the positive swing at the weights over all those horses, and that counts for nearly half the field. So from that point of view, number 6, Jury's Out, has to be very much alive, especially with his preference to go down the Vaal straight. He'll be somewhere in the mix. Number 4, another level, like I said, jumping out of his skin, but he's kind of forgotten how to win. Pound for pound, he's probably better than any horse in this race, but he hasn't won in 640 days despite getting close. When he was at the peak of his powers, he was beating horses of a lot better quality than what he faces today. So respect them both. I think number 9, Master Christmas, is very much alive in the race. And then I've washed my hands of Pyromaniac a long time ago, I must be honest. I'm proud to say that I've read him right. But down the Vaal straight, I might give him one more chance and pick 6 and jackpots number 1, Pyromaniac. Calvin Abib takes it right. For new ownership, that's Pierce Straden's mother who owns number 1, Pyromaniac, who turned 6 just a couple of days later. Yeah, if he won, it would not surprise me, but if he didn't, that would be my last dance with number 1, Pyromaniac. It's the first time in a while that I've actually quietly fancied him.
So we move on to your suggested bet of the day, which commences in race number 6, Jackpot 2, and this is a merit rated 87 handicap. And just looking at the numbers you've gone with, Alistair, you don't trust this race at all.
No, not at all. I've opened up in the second jackpot looking for a couple of results. My top choice here would be number 2, Sound Machine, funny enough. I think she got bitten last time out just from a bit of a break and from a deep draw, which is not the pedigree way. And she never got into the hunt behind here, Kumi Borki. Kelvin Habib takes her out. He's back on board. Rode it to victory in her penultimate start when beating Serta. When you look at collateral form from that run on the 12th of May, Sound Machine and Serta, there shouldn't be too much between them. Serta might have a little bit less mileage on the clock, so might have the opportunity of turning that form around. But I think Sound Machine's still got something to come. This daughter of Vaal, who's closely related to River Jetes, for a good bunch of owners as well. She does mix her form, and if the sequence is to be believed, then you can probably expect a better run this time around. But she's not past the post. 3 LMB has had a very successful winter, dare I say. Since the 23rd of May, she's been holding form, running nice races. She's stepped up a division, or half a division at least, and maintained her form. I think Pierre Straden will get a tune out of the daughter of Pomodoro. Serta, as mentioned, got to be a huge chance. When she won her maiden, she beat a weak field, but she beat it in style. She's maintained her form as well. She ran behind a well handicapped on the horizon last time out. Who else have I got in here? Alabama Anna, number 5 on the card. Surprised me when winning last time over a mile. She's always had the running style to reach 1,600 meters, but she never really got across the line. And I think she's a better horse at the Vaal than she is at Turfentine, so I've got all the respect in the world for her. 6 Zenobia's Gold under Samunga Kamalo. Also got to be a chance wherever Alabama Anna is. Zenobia's Gold should be on the premises as well. And I've got 8 and 9 Princess Ilaria drawn towards the inside. If that's playing to an advantage, she's going to probably have an extra leg. And number 9 Courageous, who bounced back to some sort of form last time out. If she gets down to the start in one piece, then she could also be dangerous. Very, very, very tricky race. I've gone with more than half the field, and our colleague Dees Diana would berate me for not going field in the start of the jackpot too, but that's how I see it.
Next up will be race number 7, and you've narrowed it down to 2 runners here, numbers 3 and 5. And touching on number 3, Boom Boom, has come down to a competitive rating, has found the form, and going back, won a good race, beating Lady Elliot, and then 2 fourths after that. So in this type of company, should be very alive.
I was a short head away from bankering number 3, Boom Boom, Sheldon, but I just kept it open-ended for number 5, Solo Diva, who I thought ran a nice race behind a horse I fancied to kill last time, behind Gimme Fabulous, when there was support for Solo Diva. That added to the fact that she's got a 50% place rate down the Vaal straight, or at the Vaal rather. I think that's probably going to give her a smidgen of hope, but there's no doubt my top selection, fully entrenched at the top of my selections, is number 3, Boom Boom. Gavin Larena takes her out for the first time. He doesn't get a call-up from Fani Broncos just to make up the numbers and to earn a riding fee. At her anti-penultimate start when she won, I was all over Lady Elliot, and I was distraught that she got beaten by Boom Boom. But that was no flash in the pan, because Boom Boom came out and ran 4th to Grand Crescendo, who obviously ran 3rd in a Grade 1 over the weekend. Looked like he had actually won 200 meters out, and followed up with a reasonable run last time over a mile behind Zenobia's Gold, who runs in the stronger division of this mile straight fillies and mares divided handicap, just a race early. And I think Zenobia's Gold will be somewhere on the premises, as mentioned. So for that reason, with Boom Boom being in a division lower, she's got to have every chance. There are horses here that have just completely lost their way, even though their ratings have dropped. Well, some of them have dropped. Some of them are A, under sufferance, and B, they just don't look like they're going to revive themselves and suddenly find form anytime soon. So, like I said, short head away from bankering number 3, Boom Boom, but I've just kept it open-ended for number 5, Solo Diva, to trouble her if there is going to be any trouble.
The last double on the card, races 8 and 9, and just looking at your numbers 2, 5, 6 and 7. Let's kick off with number 2, Blackberry Breeze. Now if you go back earlier in the form, did run behind Jury's Out, and then looking at some of the other runs, some fair runs in the bank. What do you make of Blackberry Breeze?
I like him here, Sheldon. As you mentioned, I've gone with 4 horses. Can we read anything into the fact that Calvin Abbey was chosen number 2, Blackberry Breeze? I think we can. He's a lovely big strapping son of Silvano, and I think he's just needed his runs back. And every single run since his return from a 5-month break, he's finished closer. And as a result, his ratings come down from an 83 to a 75 without being disgraced. And I think for having legitimate reasons for running the way that he has over those 3 starts. I liked his penultimate start, funny enough, behind 2 Miles West, where he ran 5 1/4 lengths behind a progressive 3-year-old. He tried 2,000 meters last time out behind Romeo's Magic. He was anything but disgraced, and I think now he's reaching his peak. So number 2, Blackberry Breeze, is my top selection because I just like the profile, the improvement, and the rating drop that he brings in. But as you mentioned, it's no one-horse race. Number 5, American Biscuit, is proving himself to be quite a consistent horse. Stratum takes the ride for the first time for Waishong Mowing. On a line through 2 Miles West, American Biscuit, funny enough, has the beating of Safe Space and Blackberry Breeze, but obviously the weights are suggesting that those horses might finish a little bit closer. But number 5, American Biscuit, got to be alive. 6, Safe Space, didn't beat a strong field last time out, but won well enough to follow up and back up with. And number 7, Archimedes, if the Grand Crescendo form works out a race earlier with Boom Boom, which I think it might. This horse ran in the Independence on Saturday Drill Horse Stakes for what reason I don't know, but anyway, he was there, and he's not half bad on his day, number 7, Archimedes, especially at this level. So respect his chances.
Then ending off the meeting is race number 9, where they are betting 5 to 2 the field. Number 3, Mickey's Bomb, 5 to 2. Number 2 from your stable, the Candace Dawson Yard, is at 3 to 1, and then it's 5 to 1 and better. I see you've gone with numbers 2, 3, and 7 in the final leg of the jackpot, so you'll be looking to survive with 3 runners.
Just to go to number 2, Nazare, Sheldon, if this was on the Turfentine inside track, he'd be a banker. I'd give everyone all the confidence because he's just a better horse on the Turfentine inside track. His runs on the Hollywoodbets Greyville Polly, he's just run the same type of race. He's just a better horse on grass. We resign to that now with the son of What's a Winter. He beat Dancing Dora last time out and beat her narrowly, and at a pure swing at the weights. Dancing Dora's waited to finish in front of Nazare. Dancing Dora was bit upsetting during the week when finishing second. That's the form update for her. Remains to be seen if she runs. Fanny Broncos generally doesn't run away, so I think number 7, Dancing Dora, will take her place, but I guess there's every opportunity, or there's a slim chance that she might not, provided she's pulled up well after her run on Thursday. So purely at the weights, Dancing Dora's definitely got a smidgen of hope with number 2, Nazare. And then the stable companion, the reason why I've got respect for number 3, Mika's Bomb, is because Gavin Larena takes a run. Now, I know obviously Gavin Larena can't do 52.5 despite his efforts to get down to ride Barbaresco in the Hollywoodbets Durbanville and maintaining that good fighting weight that he's currently running. But 52.5 would just be absolute suicide for Gavin. So the fact that Moosey's gone with number 7, Dancing Dora, is purely weight related. But Mika's Bomb has been very, very close. She's been hitting the crossbar quite a lot lately, although against weak opposition, and horses that are this consistent get it right sooner rather than later. So for that reason, she enters my play when it comes to Jackpot 2 and the pick 6s as well.
Well, that's just about a wrap. Before we let you go, for your Legion of supporters, if you wouldn't mind going through your suggested bet of the day, which is Jackpot 2, which commences in race number 6.
Yep, it does indeed, and race number 6 runs at 3:05. If we can get this meeting right and finish the season on the half alt on a high, I'll be very, very pleased with myself, and I am actually going to take the second jackpot. I just hope it pays more than the outlay. 2 Sound Machine, 3 NMB, 4 Serta, 5 Alabama Anna, 6 Zenobia's Gold, 8 Princess Ilaria, and 9 Courageous in the first leg. About 3 and 5 Boom Boom and Solo Diva. I must confess, while I was going through that race, the more I like Boom Boom, because when you're talking about a race and you see things while you're going along, perhaps the more convinced and the more you talk yourself into it. But it's 3 and 5 for now. It might end up being banker number 3, Boom Boom. Then 2 Blackberry Breeze, 5 American Biscuit, 6 Safe Space, and 7 Archimedes. And the final leg, just the 3 runners, 2 Nazare, 3 Mika's Bomb, and 7 Dancing Dora to wrap it up.
Well, thanks very much, Alistair. Take care, and we'll catch you soon.
Sheldon, always a pleasure. To all the viewers, thanks so much for your support this season. Absolutely love doing this, trying to guide people in the right direction. May we finish strongly, and may we start on the 1st of August with a bang as well.
Well, there we go. You've heard it all from Alistair Cohen. And as they say, that's a wrap.